Hello everyone, I'm Shivabrata Nayak. Today we are going to discuss one of the poem of Invitation 1, means Invitation 1 book of 12th standard Odisha board students. So let me point out the name of the poem. The name of the poem is The Ballad of Father Gilligan. So the Ballad of Father Gilligan is a poem which is written by William Butler Yeats, who was born in the year of 1865 and died in the year of 1939. So the poet is an Irish poet, dramatist and also a mystic, right? So he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature in the year of 1923. So here the poet W.B.Yeats, who presents the Ballad of Father Gilligan, so is written in the style of ballad. Ballad का मतलब क्या होता है? The meaning of ballad is called as a story which is written in the form of poem. So एक स्टोरी है जो कि पोएम के आकार में लिखा गया है. तो आप अगर टाइटल को देखोगे, द बैलड ऑफ फादर गिलगन एक स्टोरी है. सो किसके ऊपर लिखा गया है? ना फादर गिलगन. सो फादर गिलगन कौन है? ना फादर गिलगन इज नथिंग बट एन ओल्ड प्रीस्ट, राइट? सो मीन्स हु वाज वर्किंग हार्ड day and night for the people, right? Under means who lives under his church, or who live under his church. So ये जो poem है, right? इस poem के द्वारा the poet is trying to do nothing but glorifies the God, that how God, right, helps the people, right? So or helps Father Gilligan. So like I pointed, so ballad is a simple narrative poem which is written in a simple language. So the theme of the poem is about the presence of God, right, everywhere, and and the God who loves for all also. The poem is about a miracle that was happened in the life of Father Gilligan, who was an old priest. So let me read all those stanzas. So there are 12 stanzas and each stanza carries 4 lines. So and you would find out also, means the rhyming scheme of these stanzas are like what? Gilligan day beds lay. So you would find out A, B, C, B. So that's what is the rhyming scheme. Gilligan, if you look into the last word of the means each line, you will find out and its connection with the next line's last word, you will find out the rhyming. So Gilligan day. So the old priest Peter Gilligan was weary night and day, for half his flock were in their beds or under green sods lay. So you will find out Gilligan day beds lay. So A, B, C, B is the rhyming scheme. Now let me tell you the poem and explain each of the stanzas. So the first stanza: the old priest Peter Gilligan was weary night and day, for half his flock were in their beds or under green sods lay. So when you look into the first stanza means starts with the introduction of Peter Gilligan, right, an old priest. So and it shows that how the old priest Peter Gilligan helps his people, right, who are under his church, right? So he presented that half his flock were in their beds, means half of people are in bed or buried under the ground, right? Half his flock were in their bed or under green sods lay. Or under green sods lay means what? It is clearly stated that half of the people are in bed or buried under the ground due to sickness, right? So he also pointed that he treats whom? The sick people, and conduct a funeral for the dead people, right? So he treats them day and night, right? As you find out, it is stated was very night and day. So it shows that what? He treats them day and night and becomes very tired, right? So very, W-E-A-R-Y, very means called as a tired, right? Why he was tired? Because he was doing hard work in the day and night, right? He treats them day and night and becomes very tired. And that's what is the first stanza point out. The old priest Peter Gilligan was very night and day, for half his flock were in their beds or under green sods lay. Now the second stanza stated, once while he nodded on a chair at the moth hour of eve, another poor man sent for him, and he began to grieve, right? So Similar to that, the poet also spoke in the second stanza that how one day, due to his tiredness, right, so he was drowsing or called as a nodding, right, so on a chair, and it was the time of evening, mothar eve, right, so where the presence of insect indicates that it is nothing but the evening time. So mothar is clearly indicating that the insect's presence in the time of evening. Another poor man sent for him means one of the poor man who came to him, and he started grief. He started grieving means what? It's clearly indicating means he started asking for the help. He started asking for the help from whom? Help from the priest, Father Gilligan, right? So when you look into the next stanza where he pointed, means the poet stated here means that how the Father Gilligan replied to whom? Replied to the means a sick man who started grieving, right, or who started asking help means from the priest. So the priest replied, I have no rest nor joy nor peace, for people die and die. And after cried he, God forgive, my body spake not I. Now look into this third stanza. What the third stanza states here? The third stanza states that what? I have no rest. So the poet stated that the Father Gilligan, who is considered as an old priest, so who was very upset. Why he was very upset? Now means he is stating here that he is not getting any rest, or not getting any happiness, or not he is getting peace in his life. Why? Now because he is helping to the people, right, and those of the people who are needy, right, and his tiredness makes him to get upset, right. That is the reason he pointed here means that people die and die, and I have no rest nor joy nor peace. So he was not getting rest, nor getting happiness, nor getting peace in his life. Why? Because people die and die. And after cried he, so when he means stated such kind of a means a reply to the sick man, so he felt means he realized that what did he say, right? So he cried before the God and asked the forgiveness to means God. He stated that means God forgive, my body spake not I. So he begs God to forgive him. Why? Because means those of the words, right, are stated or spoken by his body, not by him. But if you look into it, means it can be looked into other angle by stating that he means realized and he asked for forgiveness to means God, and stated that his body did not permit him to do the work, but from inner side he is actually want to do the means do the job for the people, do the job for the sick people, right. So after means asking for forgiveness, so what happened while he was doing that means he knelt and leaning on the chair, right. So he knelt and leaning on the chair means Father Gilligan so kneel down, right, kneel down on the floor means and to get forgiveness from means God, right. So he kneels he leans on the chair, he knelt and leaning on the chair and prayed and fell asleep. So while he was praying to the God, he was means of falling asleep. So he was falling in a deep sleep. At the moth went from the fields and stars began to peep. So it seems like what? Evening was turning into night, right. So it means the mothar means which is indicating as the insects who are nothing but the symbol of evening time. So those of the insect who went to the means of field means evening turns to night and stars begin to peep. So means many of the stars appear in the sky, so which is clearly indicator of the what, how the night means grows, right, gradually. So as night starts, the sky is filled with stars, and due to the flow of wind, right, what happened means he knelt and leaning on the chair, he prayed and fell asleep at the mothar went from the fields, and stars began to weep. Weep means appear. They slowly into millions grew. So they means referring to the stars. So that means slowly growing into millions in number or spread across the Milky Way or the sky. And leaves shook in the wind. Leaves means that refers to the leaves of the trees. So they also shook due to the gentle wind or blowing of the gentle wind, right? And God covered the world with a shade, right? So it's clearly stating that what due to the flow of wind, leaves are falling from the trees, and God covers the world with the darkness and speaks slowly to the mankind. So God covered the world with shade, means as it was the night time, so it resembles the idea that what God covers the world and whispered to mankind, and due to the gentle wind, the means shaking and falling of the leaves, clearly indicating that God is telling something to the human being or mankind. That's what is the means analysis that you find out in this particular stanza. They slowly into million grew. So they means referring to the stars, and the leaf shook in the wind. So the leaves of the trees which also shook due to the gentle wind, and God who covered the world with shade. So as it is the night time, so it seemed that what God has covered the whole world means and put it under his lap, and was telling something to the mankind because of the sound which is coming because of the gentle wind. Upon the time of sparrow chirp, when the moth came once more, the old priest Peter Gilligan stood upright on the floor. Upon the time of sparrow chirp. So obviously, chirping of sparrows is chirping of the sparrows is nothing but the indicator of the what means how the night turns to early morning, right? So early hours of morning time. So and the insects come once again, and also at that time Father Gilligan, who wakes up from his sleep, right, upon the time of sparrow chirp, when the moth came once more, the old priest Peter Gilligan, who stood upright on the floor, means who woke up and identified that what means it was the early morning. Mavroon, Mavroon, right, the man has died while I slept on the chair. He roused his horse out of its sleep and rode with no care. Right. Now look into this particular stanza where the poet stated Mavroon, Mavroon. So when you talk about Mavroon, Mavroon is nothing but means Jesus God's mother, right? So like we used to say that, oh my God. Similar to that, the poet stated that the priest, when he woke up and he found himself in the means early morning time, so he stated that Mavron, oh my God, or means oh means mother of Jesus Christ, right? So Mavron is the name of means mother of Jesus Christ. So he was telling that Jesus Christ, right? The man has died. So means while I slept on the chair, so he was in a surprising situation, or means he was in a means what do you say that in a sad situation, sad state, where he stated when he slept on the chair, means in the previous night, right? He means the man must have died. The man means the man who came in the previous day, right? So or the day before. So came with nothing but means his confusion. So the poet here present that Mavron, Mavron, the man has died while I slept on the chair. So the priest Father Gilligan thought that means when he slept on the chair, the man must have died. He roused his horse out of its sleep and rode with little care. So he roused means he woke up his horse and rode with little care and took his horse towards the sick man's house. And while he was going, he did not care about the speed, that the speed which he used means that day never did in the So he wrote now as he never wrote. So look into the line where it is stated, he wrote now. So he took his horse and went to the sick man's house, and the way he took his horse, he never did it. Right? He wrote now as he never wrote. By rocky lane and fen, he did not take care. He did not care about that road. Right? He did not care about the what do you say, that rocky lane. Rocky lane means rock areas, or you can say that fen means lowland, or called as a muddy areas. So he did not take care. He did not care about the difficult paths. He did not care about the lowland, muddy areas. So he went to the sick man's house with full speed. The sick man's wife opened the door. Father, you come again. Look into the next two lines where the poet is stated in a such a the poet stated the idea in such a way that makes the reader surprised. When he pointed he reached to the sick man's house. He reached to the sick man's house, and when he when the sick man's wife opened the door, right? The sick man's wife surprised and stated with the surprise, Father, you come again. So look into the line, Father, you come again. It means what? It means that Father had already present in the previous night or some time ago. So that's why the sick man's wife stated, Father, you come again. So but based on the statement, right, the father here stated that, and is the poor man died? Father asked to the sick man's wife that whether the man died, and the wife replied that he dies in an hour ago. Now look into the couple of stanzas which is presented here. And is the poor man dead? Question mark is given. He cried. Who cried? The priest, Father Gilligan, cried and asked the sick man's wife, and is the poor man died? So sick man or poor man mar gaya kya? Right? It is the kind of questions the priest has asked. So the sick man's wife stated, he died an hour ago. So एक घंटा पहले ही वो मर चुके हैं. So he died an hour ago. So the old priest Peter Gilligan in grief swayed to and fro. So when the old priest Peter Gilligan heard the death of the sick man, so he was full up sad, right? The priest Father Gilligan means in sadness, moved, swayed, swayed means called as a moved, right? So moved to and fro. It seems like how he was how he was in pain, right? So in the next stanza the poet stated that when you were gone he turned and died as merry as a bird. The old priest Peter Gilligan, he knelt him at that word. Now this stanza clearly indicating that the sick man's wife replied here to the priest, an old priest, or the old priest Peter Gilligan, that what, when you were gone, right? When you were gone means what? The woman replies after the priest lives, he died in a peaceful manner. So when you were gone, he turned and died. So means the old priest left the place, and the sick man's turned and died. So died in a peaceful manner, and he died as merry as a bird. So here the comparison is made, and the comparison is stated that he died in a peace. The old priest Peter Gilligan, he knelt him at that word. So by hearing such words, right, Father Gilligan kneels on the floor. Kneels on the floor means kneel down on the floor, and he says that what he says, he knelt him at that word. So means sick man wife से इस टाइप का means बात सुनने के बाद, so Father Gilligan was surprised and kneels himself at that word, right? He who has made the night of stars for soul who tire and bleed sent one of his great angels down to help me in my need. Now look into the stanza where means Father Gilligan means telling that what that uh, he who has made the night of stars. He means uh, referring to the God, right? God who has made the night of stars, right? So this whole world is made by the God, right? And the stars and the night which have been also formed by the God. He who has made the night of stars for souls, even who made the universe and the human being, right? With the tire and bleed. Tire and bleed means with the flesh and the blood, right? So sent one of his great angels down. So he did not come to the means he did not come down, he sent one of his great angels. So angels means here referring to the messenger of the God, right? So he sent one of his great angels down. Why? Not to help me in my need. So to help whom? To help to the poor, to help to the poor, very means a priest Father Gilligan. Why? Now because the priest Father Gilligan was weak physically and emotionally, and get into the deep slumber the previous night, and who could not help to the sick man, right? That is why means the God, right, means disguised himself in the form of the means in the form of the priest Father Gilligan, right, and sent himself or sent one of his angels to the sick man's house. So it is clearly stated that he who has made the night of stars for souls who tire and bleed sent one of his great angels down. Means great angels down means he sent one of the great angels in the form of the priest Father Gilligan, to whom means to the sick man's house. Why? Not to help the sick man, right, as well as help to the means of priest Father Gilligan. So it is the last stanza where the last stanza is stated, he who is wrapped in purple robes with the planets in his care had pity on the list of things asleep upon a chair. So Father Gilligan feels, grateful to God, right? Why? Now because, and also the poet who stated in such a way means the poet is praising in such a such a way that uh, makes the God, right, beautiful, right? Like you can say that he who is covered, he means the God who is covered himself in a purple means robes, right, with the planets in his care. So the God who takes care of the whole universe, who had also pity on the list of things. So the means Father Gilligan was nothing but a weak and physically weak and emotionally weak person, right? But God has also never not forgot to help him, right? So had shown his pitiness, or means his blessing on the list of things. So list of things means the poet is stated that the Father Gilligan was nothing but a simple human being, but God has also never not forgotten to what means help this priest, right, when the priest was sleeping on his chair, right? So that is the beautiful poem where it shows the relation between means uh, priest Father Gilligan with the God. So God had shown his means pitiness on a simple person like Father Gilligan when he slept. It's clearly resembling that how means the poet is trying to praise the God. Father Gilligan feels grateful to God for being kind and merciful to him. The poem shows the love and care of God for whom all the lives are equal and important. So it is nothing but means it's called as a caring of God towards the human being. Hope you understand the point. If you understand the point, please subscribe the channel. Thank you.